I'm just doing a quick recording for you of trying to model how you could structure your blog posts. Some of you have asked for this. So as an example, I've got there, this is the question, this is one of the suggested blog posts. If you go onto the assessment page, all the suggested blog posts are there. I know you can have an overload with the tabs. I love a tab, it's all good. So everything is going to be on assessment and feedback, and if you go down to these are the suggested blog posts. Obviously we encourage you to follow your own interest, but we know there are a lot of relevant reading that we've suggested in the weekly tasks that are going to help you with these. Okay, so this is the question: how can science and technology activities be made engaging and relevant in primary education? Relate your experience, key concepts and relevant theory. So what we're looking for you to do here, think about the structure. So think about that introduction, so signpost to the reader, what is going to follow within your main body of your blog. So it's quite like an essay. So you could have an introduction to how science and technology is taught within the curriculum. So obviously go to the science and technology hub, go to the hub pages, go to the science and technology. Everything you need to know is here. So you could start with a bit of context. How is science and technology? What are the expectations of that? You could talk maybe a little bit of history to why we're doing that. And obviously that links then to making activities engaging and relevant. Obviously a key part of reform within Wales is that it was argued with the older curriculum, the 2008 curriculum, was maybe not seen as relevant for providing or preparing pupils for the future. It wasn't seen as relevant and wasn't maybe seen as engaging. So obviously, one of the ways that science and technology is now taught in schools with the new curriculum is a cross-curricular approach, which we tried to show you within the university sessions. So we're looking at this topic of polar. So we're looking at as the two schools we're working with, they were looking at the theme of polar was their theme. So you could start to talk about that. You could talk about the university sessions. You could talk about what we did in the university sessions. Please, I'm urging you, this is me saying this now, don't be too descriptive. The job of the blog is not just to be a diary of today in university, we did this, then we did this, then we did this. It can be a little bit descriptive. You can describe what we did, but always remember, so what? So what? Why did we do it? So obviously we did the Polar Explorer experiment. You guys made your boats. You guys did your designing, your planning, but also then think back to what were the curriculum expectations. Why did we do it? There's a little bit of design thinking there. There's some cross-curricular learning there. There's maths. There's the DCF, there's physics. So within that short lesson, it was cross-curricular in that it wasn't just science. It was a range of different cross-curricular expectations, and you can support that by going to Hub, and you can support that with theory. So obviously, in the lecture, I present to you the theory that's related to the week and to the whole module. So if we come up, you can see, sorry, I'm on the wrong document there. I've got too many tabs open. In the lecture, we're talking about, I talked about how you can make it practical. So linking to ideas of Dewey with his providing authentic learning experiences. So you guys had a go at making this. I didn't just tell you about boats and you had to just think about it yourself. You actually had a go and you actually made your designs. And then you reworked your designs so they worked. You had experiments. A lot of traditional teachers maybe avoided experiments because of cost or mess, as Clegg says. Also with experience, you're getting to experiment. You're making mistakes. So rather than just learning the theory of this science, you are actually getting your hands dirty. You could talk about the theory related to making it fun. As Clegg talks about the environment in which the theory was developed. And then there's lots of cognitive theory that I've introduced in the lecture, such as Christensen saying how actually them being involved in science, them making mistakes, them actually getting involved with the learning can be fun. So that's really, really important that we do that. So again, it's those authentic experiences that have been introduced. You could also talk about personalised learning as well. How in the weekly catch-ups with the schools, you've asked them, what do you want to see in these videos? So you guys are making them videos and you've asked them what would they like to see. So, you're starting with the child. You've also asked them, what do you already know about these things? What do you know about the polar ice caps? Which is brilliant. And you've had that discussion. So again, it links to this personalised learning. Also link into constructivism. You're learning together. You're learning with them. They're learning with you. Okay, so there's links to theory. If you're stuck with the theory, obviously go to the lectures as a starting point and then definitely read wider from there. So look at my reference lists. You're going to get more marks if you read outside of my reference lists and then the reading list that I've offered on the module. Also, make links to your placement. Some of you have started placement now, which is brilliant. And you've started to tell me about some of the things that you've seen. So again, you might see some of these examples within your placement. Maybe you've seen some science and technology that is really engaging and you could write about that. Hugely important. Again, loads of marks available for this. This is a blog. Make it multimedia. Use links. So if you've talked about something and you've maybe found a video online, maybe you found a science website online that supports what you're saying. If you are going to do that, that's absolutely fine. But make sure within your text you refer to, as this video shows, or as this link demonstrates, or this is supported by this video. Okay, so try and tie in and make explicit why you've included this in the blog. Definitely involve the content you've created. You're all creating science videos for children. So again, include them and then unpack them, evaluate them, say why you've done certain things. You might have used an elephant with smelly breath who needs to have elephant toothpaste. Again, say why you've done that. Link it to theory. You've got personalised theory there, learning theory. Use apps. They've suggested some podcasts that you could use. Maybe you're picking elements out of that there. Okay. You obviously have to support with academic sources as well. Talk about your use of technology and maybe make some links to the DCF, the Digital Competency Framework. A lot of you have made videos now for the group, so make sure that you are reflecting on the digital skills. Although this is a science and technology lesson, you've used a lot of digital competency skills as well, cross-curricular skills. It links back to the cross-curricular expectations. So hopefully this has given you a bit of an idea, a bit of a structure to what we sort of anticipate for your blogs. There's no right or wrong way. I'm not saying you have to do it this way. You may choose to not write about science and technology, and that's absolutely fine. But just from some of your emails, you said that this would be quite useful. Anything that's not clear, we can go through in the on-campus sessions, or you can send me an email. Hopefully this has been quite useful. And again, we can do it for later sessions as well. Let me know.